So, welcome to our regular iSpring webinar series where we discuss e-learning trends, share tips and tricks, and highlight client success stories. My name is Kate. I'm a community manager at iSpring, and I will be your moderator for today's session. And today we continue our PowerPoint and iSpring Suite webinar series. And over the next hour, we're going to discover how to breathe life into your courses with animations and AI voiceovers in iSpring Suite. And now, let me introduce you to our iSpring genius and tech geek, Karina Wolf. Hi, Karina. How are you doing today?
Hi, I'm doing great.
Oh, yeah, I'm feeling great too, and I can't wait to get started.
So, hello everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Karina, and I'm a technical support engineer at iSpring. And today we're going to do a deep dive into how to enhance courses with animations and AI voiceovers in iSpring Suite. If you're new here, no worries. Even if you haven't participated in the previous webinars, you are more than welcome to follow along with me today. For this, you will need to install our authoring tool, iSpring Suite. No worries, it's totally free to do this today. We have a 14 free day trial so that you can test all the functionality of the software and create amazing courses. So I'm going to share a link to the trial in the bottom left corner of your screen. Also, I'm going to share the course that we made today during our first webinar of the series, so you can make changes to it with me. Download it from the handout section right above the chat. Then you will need to unzip the files and run the PowerPoint presentation. This way, you will be able to follow along with me. We will also email you a recording of the session so you can watch it later. While you are installing iSpring Suite and downloading the files, I'd love to know a bit more about all of you. So first of all, Kate is going to launch a poll to see what sector you work in. You can choose from the 5 answer options: corporate sector, nonprofit sector, educational sector, governmental sector, or I'm a freelancer. Okay, I'll give you some time to answer. All right, I see that most of you work in the corporate sector. That's great. And I think we can move on to our second question now. And the second question is, how long have you been using iSpring Suite? And the answer options are less than a year, from 1 to 3 years, more than 3 years, or I've never used iSpring Suite before. And I will give you some time to choose the answer. I can see that most of you have been using iSpring Suite for less than a year. Some of you have never used iSpring Suite before, which is totally okay. And thank you for answering the questions. So we have lots of iSpring pros with us today, which is awesome. And we have some people who haven't used iSpring Suite before. But no worries, you will see iSpring Suite in action in just a moment. And by the time this webinar is over, you will definitely have learned a few new tricks. So since we have some newbies today who are also not super familiar with iSpring, here's just a quick word about who we are. For over 20 years, we have been designing e-learning software that empowers individuals, teams, and businesses to succeed through enhanced employee training. iSpring is the recipient of many prestigious industry awards, and we are consistently top ranked for products and customer support. Our clients include over 200 Fortune 500 companies, government agencies, and educational institutions worldwide, including Microsoft, Dell, PepsiCo, MIT, Stanford, and Harvard University. So, a little about our authoring tool, iSpring Suite Max. It's a powerful add in that empowers busy training specialists and educators to create engaging e learning courses quickly and without any tech or design expertise. With iSpring Suite, you can turn your presentations into interactive e-learning courses and upload them to your LMS, engage with 14 interactive templates, create quizzes with flexible scoring and 14 templates, record screencasts and voiceovers easily, add voiceovers in 42 languages. So let's dive into the world of iSpring Suite and explore how these techniques can take our courses to the next level. Today, we'll start off by adding animations to our course. Then we will add a narration using our text-to-speech feature in iSpring Suite. And then we will sync the animations on our slides with the voiceover. Animations and AI voiceovers in iSpring Suite not only make courses more fun, but also help boost learner retention. Animations make it easier to understand tricky concepts, and AI voiceovers create a more immersive learning experience by simulating real life conversations and interactions. They also reinforce key concepts and make the content easier to understand. So let's start by adding animations to our slides. Animations are like attention magnets, making it easier for learners to understand tougher concepts. With animations, you can visualize abstract ideas, break down processes, and make complex stuff way more engaging. So let's dive into the practical part now. Going to share my screen. Just a second. Okay, you can see my screen now. So I already added animations to to most of our slides, and we're going to be adding animations to our fourth slide. So to add the animations, we'll need to go to the Animations tab in PowerPoint, and then we will need to select the text to which we'll be applying the animations. I will select everything besides the character that we have in the slide and the title of the slide. So I'll just go ahead and press Control on my keyboard and then select all the objects with my mouse that need to be animated. Okay, now all the objects are selected, perfect. And now we'll need to go to the animation pane under animations. And we will apply the fade animation to the text. Now, as you can see here, we have a bunch of different objects that is connected to each module. Like we have an icon, we have a number, we have the module number and the um, name of the module. So all these elements have to be basically grouped. So we just need to make sure here that all the elements are grouped. So this way they will all appear at the same time. So I'll just go ahead and make sure that everything is aligned perfectly. Okay, seems everything is great. So now we will need to change the start of our animations. So right now they start at a different time, and some of them start with previous, some of them start after previous, some start on click. So to synchronize our animations with narration later on, we'll need to set them to start on click. So I will just go ahead and click on the arrow next to number 1 and set it to start on click. As for all the other objects within this module, I will set them to start with previous. So I'll just go ahead and make sure that they are all set to start on previous. So within the first module, everything is set up correctly. The first number is set to start on click and all the others with previous. Now we'll need to do the same with the second module. So basically, I'll just set number 2 to start on click, and all the others have to start with previous. So it appears automatically. Okay, and the same for the third module. Okay, perfect. So here, everything is set up correctly. So now that we've set all the animations to our text, we can move on to adding some narration to our course. Narration acts like a guide, enriching the e-learning journey through additional explanations and guidance. Adding a narration not only effectively conveys essential information, but it establishes a meaningful rapport with the audience, elevating the learning experience. iSpring Suite Max has the text-to-speech feature that applies these voiceovers. It's a valuable tool that can save you time and money, eliminating the need to invest in pricey professional voiceovers. And just to make sure you're aware, AI voiceovers have really improved over the years. So I promise it's not that robotic sound that probably comes to mind when you imagine AI narration. And before we start, let's run a quick poll. So the question is, have you already used the text-to-speech feature? And the answer options are yes, and I like it, no, but I will, and no, never heard of it. Okay, and I'll give you some time to answer this question. So most of you have already used this feature and you like it. That's amazing. Some of you have never used it. And some of you have never heard of it. That's great. So today we're going to be adding narrations together. So everyone will be able to use the narration in their courses. So in iSpring Suite Max, there are several voices to choose from, and they all sound very natural. There is a wide range of languages and accents, allowing you to literally speak to a diverse audience. Moreover, the advanced customization options enable you to adjust the pacing, tone, and emphasis of the narration to perfectly align with your content and enhance learner engagement. It's a really amazing feature. So before we start adding the AI narration, just a little tip for you here. You can insert the text with narration in the notes section here below the slide. This way you won't have to copy the text or type it in manually for each slide. I will already edit the text for each slide, as you can see here. So let's move on. So let me show you a screencast I made that shows how to add a narration to our course. I'll just share my screen with the video in just a second. Okay. Okay, can you all see it? Okay, I think you can see the video. Perfect. Yes, thank you. So in order to add the narration, we first need to go to Manage Narration under the iSpring Suite tab. And then in the new window, we need to click on the arrow under Audio and then click Text to Speech. So here in this window, as you can see, you will be able to select a language from 42 languages that are currently available. So I'll just go ahead and select English, United States. And then you can choose a voice. There are both female and male voices, and some of them have natural or standard in brackets. So standard voices sound more robotic and natural sound more natural. So I'll just go ahead and use the Jaden natural voice. And at the bottom of this sorry, at the bottom of this window, we have the button that says Insert Text from Notes. So the tip I gave you earlier on adding text to the notes section was about this. So let's just go ahead and click on this button and see what happens. Okay, as you can see, the text was added to our slide and we didn't have to type anything manually, which is just perfect. So let's just preview this just to see how it sounds as it is without making any changes to it.
First, we'll start by answering some basic questions to clarify what we mean when we say diversity and inclusion in the workplace. First of all, what is diversity and inclusion? What does a diverse and inclusive work environment look like? And finally, why is diversity and inclusion so important?
Okay, I think it sounds great, but I'd like the word first to be pronounced a bit slower. And there is a way for us to do this. For this, we will be using the SSML editor feature that we have in this window. So here is where you can enable this feature. And now we are able to tweak the settings, tweak the pronunciation settings. So to change the speed of a word, I will just go ahead and select the word first and then click speed and select the speed. So I'll make it a bit slower, set it to, and preview it.
First, we'll start by answering some basic questions.
Okay, it sounds better. So, and I also want the narrator to make a pause after inclusion in diversity and inclusion in the workplace before revealing the module names. So I'll just go ahead and put my cursor to the place where I want to insert a pause. And then I go to pause and I select the time the pause should be. Okay, just like this. And now we will preview it to make sure it sounds better.
First, we'll start by answering some basic questions to clarify what we mean when we say diversity and inclusion in the workplace. First of all, what
Okay, it sounds so much better now. So with the SSML editor feature, you can also change the way words are pronounced. So for example, you can make some words be pronounced as ordinal or some other way. So I don't have any numbers to show you in this text, but I do have the word first. So I'll just go ahead and change the word first to number 1 and see how the narrator pronounces this word as it is when it's just typed in as 1 instead of first. So let me select the word first and change it to 1. So let's see what happens.
First, we'll start by answering some basic questions to clarify what we mean when we say diversity and inclusion in the workplace. One of all, what is diversity and inclusion? What does a diverse and inclusive work environment look like?
So see, it doesn't really make much sense because this way he says one of all. So to change the way the narrator pronounces this word, we'll just need to select number 1 and go to say as ordinal. Now let's see what happens.
First, we'll start by answering some basic questions to clarify what we mean when we say diversity and inclusion in the workplace. First of all, what is diversity and
Sorry. Okay, so that's it. Our narration is getting better. And we also have one more option in this window that says pronunciation. So this feature also allows you to work on the way the narrator pronounces words. I won't go into the detail of how to use this feature, but I will share a link to some help docs on how to work with it in just a moment. So now that we've made sure everything sounds exactly the way we want it to, we can go ahead and just insert the text-to-speech feature. So we'll need to click on the insert button at the bottom of this window. And then once we click on this button, we'll see a pop-up window where we'll be able to select where the narration will be inserted to at the current cursor position or at the beginning of a slide. And below we have a list of the slides. So I'll just go ahead and select the 4th slide. And we also have an option that says adjust slide duration. Basically what it does is that when the narration is added, it automatically adjusts the duration of the narration with the duration of the slide. Because if you don't check this option, it may be that the narration is way longer than the duration of the slide, and then your narration will cover more than one slide. But if you're creating a narration for just one specific slide, make sure that this option is selected and then click Insert. Perfect. Now the narration was added. So this is amazing. And what's more um, amazing is that we can later on go to this narration maybe to update some information. So we'll be able to always work on the audio, change something in the text. So to change something, we'll just need to right click on the audio clip and then click Add Text to Speech. Here, as you can see, we are able to update the narration. So we'll be able to make the changes, click Update, and the audio will be updated in the project. Okay, so we can click Update, and now it's been updated. So one more great thing that you can do is that once the text-to-speech is created, you can actually export the audio and use it in your other projects. So you won't have to do it manually for all your projects. You can just export this audio and use it in other projects. So to export an audio, you will need to right-click on the audio in Manage Narration and then click Edit Clip. And in the new window, you'll need to click on the file icon in the upper left corner and then click Export. Choose a place on your computer and click Save. And the narration will be exported to your computer. So you will be able to use it in your other projects. So, okay, give me just a second. Let's go back. So now let's see some other ways you can add narrations to your courses. So I'm going to share my screen one more time. Okay. Okay, now you can see my screen. So some other ways that you can add narration to your courses is that if you already have a narration prepared, maybe you've exported the narration from your other projects and now you want to add it to this one. So you just need to click on the arrow under audio and then click from file and then select the file on your computer. So let me just find the audio here. This is the audio that was exported before. So we just click open and we have the same pop-up window where we're able to see, to select where the narration will be added. I will select the fourth slide, adjust slide duration and click insert. And now the audio was added to our project. So this is one way of adding audio. You can also add different video narrations from your computer. So you can just click video. Let's select this video, click open, and let's make it as a narration for the whole course. So I'll just select the first slide, make sure that adjust slide duration is unchecked and click insert. And the video narration will be inserted as a separate separate video clip on the timeline. So it won't cover any of your audio narrations that you have in the course. So in order for the video that you've added as a narration in managed narration to show up in the final version of the course, you'll need to change some player settings. So let's just go click save and close and then go to player under the iSpring Suite tab. Okay, go to player, and in this iSpring player window, we can click on where it says select player, and we can select the video lecture player. So basically, users will see the slides and the video narration here, and they will be able to slide, enlarge some narration or the slides, so they will be able to adjust the settings. But if you don't like the way the player looks, you can also leave it at universal, but select a different layout. So for universal, we have a training with presenter video layout. So let's just go ahead and apply training with presenter video. So here is what it looks like. You can also change, added the layout, but here is where the video narration that we've added to managed narration will be, and our slides. So this is how you can add video narrations to make sure that the video narration is displayed in the final version of the project. I won't have video narration in this project, so I'll just go ahead and close out of this window. So let me go back to manage narration to see some other ways we can add narration to our courses. We'll delete the video clip from here. So some other ways you can add narrations is by recording the narrations. So you can easily click record audio. And once you click on this option, you will see some additional buttons that appeared here. So process current slide only is for when you want to record a narration for a specific slide only. So when you want to focus on one specific slide at a time. You can remove this option if you want to record a narration for all the presentation at once. So to start recording, you just need to click on start recording. You can easily change slides by clicking next slide. And the duration of the audio will be automatically adjusted to the duration of the slide. You can also pause. You can stop narration. You can go to previous or to the next slide. Once you're done recording, just click done. Or we can also cancel and go back. The same way you can make video narrations, record them right in the manage narration window, Or you can also, let me go back to iSpring Suite, close out of the Manage Narration window. So here under the iSpring Suite tab, we also have two functions here. They're the same as in Manage Narration, which is record audio and record video. So basically, you will be able to record the narrations the same way. So here it is. You'll be able to narrate over the slides. And then the final audio will be added to Manage Narration. So you'll be able to work on it as well. So I think these are all the ways you can add narrations to your courses with iSpring Suite. So now let's move on. So with the latest update of iSpring Suite Max, you can now also add text-to-speech narrations to interactions and role plays directly. So previously you had to export the created narration that you've added in Manage Narration and manually insert it in interactions and role plays. But now you can easily do it without having to do these additional steps. So I've created an interaction on the 7th slide here. So let's just go to the 7th slide, click on the interaction on the slide, and then click interaction under the iSpring Suite tab. Our interaction opened up. Okay, so here is our interaction. So to add a narration for our interaction slides, we'll need to go to the Insert tab within the interaction and then click on the arrow under Audio and then click Text to Speech. Here it auto-populated the text I have on the interaction slide, but there is also a button that says use slide text, so you can easily click on it and the text that you have on the interaction slide will be automatically added here. So the same way you can just add select the language of the narration, select the voice. I'll just use the same voice. Okay, Jaden, natural. And you can also use the SSML feature to work on the pronunciation in more detail. So the same way to add the narration, you just need to click Insert, and the audio will be inserted. So here you can just enable some playback controls so users will be able to pause the audio and set it to start on click or automatically. And you can also do it the same way for all the interaction slides, so for introduction and summary as well. Okay, so we've added the narration for our interaction. So now let's just go ahead and click Save and Return to Course. And now that the narration is added to the 4th slide and to our interaction, we can start synchronizing the narration of the 4th slide with the audio, with the animations on the slide. So this will ensure that the animations and narration are perfectly timed and enhance the overall experience for our audience. Additionally, syncing the slides with the audio will help maintain a smooth flow of the presentation. I made another screencast for you that shows how to sync audio with our animations. So I'm sharing the screen. And okay. Yep. So here is how it's done. So for this, to synchronize the animations, okay, let me refresh this. So we'll need to go to Manage Narration again. And here in the Manage Narration window, you will be able to see yellow spots on your timeline. And these yellow spots are our animations that we've added at the beginning of the webinar. So when the animations are set to start on click, you will see them as yellow marks. And you will be able to move them manually, just like this, like it's shown on the screencast. Or you can also synchronize them automatically. So let's just see how it's done. So to sync the animations with the narration, we'll need to click Sync. And now some buttons auto-populated. So the first option is the same as when recording audio for the slides versus current slide only when you want to work on one slide at a time. And then there is a start sync button for starting the synchronization. Once you start the synchronization, the button will change to say next animation. That's when you will need to click on it so that the animation appears on the slide. And then there is preview, pause, go to the previous, go to the next slide, done, and cancel. So let's just go ahead and carefully listen to the audio narration. And once we hear that the animation has to pop up on the slide, we'll need to click next animation. So let's see how it's done.
First, we'll start by answering some basic questions to clarify what we mean when we say diversity and inclusion in the workplace. First of all, what is diversity and inclusion? What does a diverse and inclusive work environment look like? And finally, why is diversity and inclusion so important?
Okay, that's really easy and takes only a
First,
few
we'll start
clicks. So
by answering
let's preview what we've got to make sure that everything is synchronized correctly.
some basic questions to clarify what we mean when we say diversity and inclusion in the workplace. First of all, what is diversity and inclusion? What does a diverse and inclusive work environment look like? And finally, why is diversity and inclusion so important?
All right, so I think it's perfect. So I'll just go ahead and click on done. So now that the animations, are synchronized with our narration. So um, I think that's it. So we've added the animations and synchronized the narration. So now let's preview the whole course to see how the finished product looks. And then we can make any final adjustments or improvements before sharing it. So let's just go ahead and click preview and we'll see what the final version looks like.
Course Diversity and Inclusion. Time to complete 15 minutes. This course has audio. A quote by Stephen Covey, American educator, businessman and author, says, "Strength lies in differences, not in similarities."
First, we'll start by answering some basic questions to clarify what we mean when we say diversity and inclusion in the workplace. First of all, what is diversity and inclusion? What does a diverse and inclusive work environment look like? And finally, why is diversity and inclusion so important?
Diversity and inclusion in the workplace. Think about the people you interact with at your workplace. Your colleagues and clients likely come from various backgrounds and identify with different groups. They may have quite different values, beliefs, and perspectives. When we say diversity in the workplace, we are referring to the variety of differences each individual brings to the workplace in respect to things such as national origin, language, race, disability, ethnicity, gender, age, religion, sexual orientation, gender identity, and socioeconomic status. Inclusion in the workplace. Inclusion refers to cultivating a workplace culture that makes each individual feel comfortable, valued for their differences and respected as an essential part of the team.
Introduction. Diversity, equity, and inclusion are often grouped together because they are interconnected, and it is only in combination that their true impact emerges. Some organizations include related concepts, such as belonging, in their DEI strategies. But all of these terms are also easily misunderstood. It's important to grasp the individual meanings and implications of each of these terms. Diversity. Diversity refers to who is represented in the workforce. Some examples of diversity in workplaces include gender diversity. What makes up the composition of men, women, and non-binary people in a given population? Age diversity. Are people in a group from mostly one generation, or is there a mix of ages? Ethnic diversity. Do people in a group share common national or cultural traditions, or do they represent different backgrounds? Physical ability and neurodiversity. Are the perspectives of people with disabilities, whether apparent or not, accounted for? Equity refers to fair treatment for all people, so that the norms, practices, and policies in place ensure identity is not predictive of opportunities or workplace outcomes. Equity differs from equality in a subtle but important way. While equality assumes that all people should be treated the same, Equity takes into consideration a person's unique circumstances, adjusting treatment accordingly so that the end result is equal. Inclusion refers to how the workforce experiences the workplace and the degree to which organizations embrace all employees and enable them to make meaningful contributions. Companies that are intent on recruiting a diverse workforce must also strive to develop a sufficiently inclusive culture, such that all employees feel their voices will be heard. Critical if organizations want to retain their talent and unlock the power of their diverse workforce.
So diversity is the reality of the world we live in, but inclusion is a choice we make to live in a more equal society. The two go hand in hand. Having a diverse workforce and an inclusive work environment allows companies and organizations to achieve their full potential. What does diversity and inclusion look like? You know you're in a diverse and inclusive work environment when all employees, regardless of their identity or background, feel that they belong there, that it's safe to speak up to voice ideas, questions, or concerns, that they are listened to and respected, that they have the support they need in order to succeed, that everyone at the company has opportunities to learn and grow, and that they are safe and comfortable with the people they work with.
All right, I think that everything looks and sounds so good. So, how do you like how it turned out? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the chat, so please feel free to share them with me. Okay, thank you so much for your comments. I see that you like it, and I'm really glad you like it.
Yeah, I see a lot of questions in the chat. So can we move on to Q&A?
Sure, sure, yeah.
Okay. So thank you, Karina, for doing such a fantastic presentation. So much practical information. And I just wanna say one thing before we move on to Q&A session. So maybe if you can stay longer, I want to ask you to fill out the survey about the webinar. I will share a link in the chat. Okay, and let's move on to our questions. It's a lot of them because it's a hot topic, of course. And I saw a question from Chastity. Can you export the entire presentation audio?
Um, Not at once, no. You will need to go into each audio clip and export it one by one. So there's no like export for all type of thing.
One click
I'm
export,
afraid,
no?
yeah.
Okay. I also saw a question from Greg. So what are we trying to achieve with video narration? Does it mean the trainer reads the slide and records themselves? So can you please elaborate more on video narration?
So basically, video narration is mostly used when you want to keep like, I don't know how to explain it. Keep your audience interested in the topic. So basically, audience feels more, I don't know how to explain this. I'm sorry.
More engaged maybe with video,
Yeah,
like
exactly, exactly.
we are using the video right now. So
You know, when the students see just some information, some text on the slides, they're not that interested. Obviously, it's just text for them. But when they actually see a human speaking and explaining something, it's way more engaging. To me, at least, that's way more engaging. So mostly people use video narrations in this case to make it more engaging, especially if it's a tougher subject. That's really useful.
yeah, thank you for the answer. And I saw some questions about accents. So are there any British accents available?
Yes, there actually are. So let me just share my screen so I can
Yeah,
show
that would be
you.
perfect. Yeah.
So if we go to manage narration and then, okay, let it open up. Manage narration and then audio, text to speech. So here, where you select the languages, you have a bunch of different, basically, accents of English. Okay, so here is English Great Britain. So you can do a British accent. And one more cool thing that you can do with accents. So basically, let's say the text is in Spanish, but you want the narrator to read it with an American accent or a British accent. So you just here type in the text in Spanish, but you set the language to English United States or English Great Britain, and select the voice, and the narrator will read the text in Spanish, but with with an American accent. So that's a really one cool thing you can do with the text to speech feature.
There's a comment Spanish from Spain or from the United States. I think both. um, so I saw another question about accents. Let me find it. Um, okay, I can't find it right now. So let's see what other questions I have here. Um, so there is a question from Bashir. Can we limit the number of devices that the iSpring presentation work in to two? So if I create a specific course, it doesn't work except in two devices only.
So is it like for launching courses on two devices only, so limited to two
Yeah,
no two devices it can be launched on?
yeah, please, if you can clarify in chat, what do you mean by limiting the devices? And while we are waiting, yeah. So it's about it.
Okay, so within iSpring Suite, it cannot be done. So within iSpring Suite, you can set domain restrictions. So basically, for uploading the course somewhere. So if you go to publish and then go to protection. So here we have domain restrictions. So basically it's for you have to put in some domains where the course will be hosted. So if you upload it to a different server, the course just won't be launched there. But for computers, there is no such feature within iSpring Suite, but maybe within an LMS that can be done because, for example, with our LMS iSpring Learn, it is not possible for users to launch the same course on two different devices. So this is more of a like an LMS feature, I would say, but not a way to limit this within iSpring Suite.
Yes, I hope we answered. Um, so there's a question from Eric. Is there any way to reducing file size when using audio?
So to reduce the size of the output project, you can also go to publish. And then here we have quality. So in the quality settings, you can change the audio compression. So if it's set to a lower number, the output weight of the project will be lower. So I think this is the only way to make the course with the audio narrations lower in size. The only thing that comes to my mind.
Yes, we got a comment from Eric. Thanks to you, Karina. So I saw also a question from Paul. When you edit the text to speech, the allocated number goes down. If you are doing edits to the text, does it also reduce the number allowed? So I think there is a countdown, yeah, on the text to speech feature.
Yes, basically, so the with the characters in the in the text to speech feature in iSpring Suite, The way it works is that when you type in the text, the characters don't go away. Um, the characters get reduced when you preview the text, or when you add the text to your course. So basically, when you type in the text or you insert some text, paste some text into the box, the number of characters doesn't go down. It only goes down when you preview it or once the audio is inserted.
Yes, thank you. Um, I also saw a question. How can we export the PPTS video? Can you show, please?
Sure, sure. So to publish a course to MP4, we'll need to go to publish. And then in the publish window, take some time to load. Okay. So in the publish window, we'll need to go to the My Computer tab and then click video. So here we have the slide duration option. So make sure that in slide properties under the iSpring Suite tab, you set slide duration for all the slides, because if the slide actually takes longer than 5 seconds to play, um, if there is no timer set for the slide, it will be defaulted to 5 seconds. So make sure to set slide duration in uh, in the properties, and then click publish. But I just want to also pay your attention to the fact that when you publish a course to the video format, the interactions that are inserted with the iSpring Suite, as well as quizzes, role plays, screen recordings. So everything that was inserted with iSpring Suite will be published as a static picture. So in the video, it will be displayed just like that. It won't be interactive because the slides are meant to be interactive. So in the video format, they won't work.
So yeah, there are some restrictions if it works for you. Question from Alex, maybe just like not a question, a complaint. I have
Mhm.
used text to speech. I can listen it in preview, but when I share the PowerPoint, others can't hear the voice.
Oh,
So
I got it. So I think what happens is that, so when you basically when you work with iSpring Suite, when you create a project and insert something with iSpring Suite, it automatically creates a source folder on your computer. The source folder looks like a regular folder and has the same name as your project. And this is where iSpring Suite adds all the quizzes, interactions, role plays, all the audio files, everything that was added with iSpring is stored there. So since the text-to-speech audios are added with iSpring Suite, you need to share your project not just by sending the PowerPoint presentation, but by exporting it. So let me just show you how it's done. So to export an iSpring Suite project, we need to go to the File tab in PowerPoint and then click Share iSpring Suite project, and then Export Project, and then make sure that the option Create Zip Package is selected. Here you can give your project a name and then click Export, and both your PowerPoint file and your source folder of the project will be exported into a zip archive, and you will need to send the zip archive over to your colleagues. So, and they will need to unzip the file, so basically export all the files from the zip folder, and they will be able to actually hear the audio and see all the quizzes and everything that was added with iSpring Suite. So you need to make sure that you're not only sending the PowerPoint file.
yes, I hope we helped you and saved your project. And there's a question from Kat. If we export it, do they also have to have iSpring as well?
Yes. So if you want your colleagues to just be able to preview the project without, like, if they don't have iSpring Suite installed in their computer, but you really want them to maybe make some comments on the project or something like that, you can actually, if you have the iSpring Suite Max subscription, you can upload it directly to your iSpring Cloud account. So if you go to Publish, and then go to sorry, go to iSpring Cloud. So here, if you publish it to iSpring Cloud, sorry, there is a way to create like a shared link to the project, where basically your colleagues won't have to either have iSpring Suite installed or they have to be members of your iSpring Cloud team. So this way they will be able to. But if you want your colleagues to be able to make changes to the project, they will need to have iSpring Suite installed on their computers as well.
Yes, thank you. I saw comments that makes sense now. So yeah, thank you very much. And I saw a question from Kim. So if you check the box, adjust slide duration in text-to-speech tab, will the video be synced if published to video, or does the manual entry of slide duration in published to video option override that feature? Does it make sense?
Yes, it does. The option, um the slide duration option in the publish window when publishing to MP4 is actually for the slides that don't have slide duration set. So when you add text to speech, something using the text to speech feature, and you click the adjust slide duration option, the duration of the slide automatically is automatically added basically. So you won't have to worry about adding the slide duration either in slide properties or the publish window because it will be automatically added. So don't be scared that you see 5 seconds when publishing to video. It's only for the slides that don't have anything set. But when inserting the text to speech feature and adjusting the slide duration, it will be automatically set. You won't have to worry about anything.
Okay, and I see same question for the same topic. I think that's our last question for today. So if you want to export it as a video, but not for same duration to each slide, is there another way?
So if I understand correctly, so if you want all the slides to have a different duration, so basically the duration for the slides is set in slide properties. So if you go to slide properties, here is where you can see all the duration for all the slides. So if you want the slides to have different amount of time, you can just change it manually here for all the different slides, set different durations. And then once it's published to MP4, the settings are actually taken from here and not from the publishing window. From the publishing window, they're only taken for the slides where they're not set, so set to 0 seconds. I hope this helps. I don't know if I
Yeah.
explained it.
So anyway, I think it was our last question for the day. Sorry, I think we have to wrap up now. And just one thing before we say goodbye, we will have two more webinars about creating courses in PowerPoint and iSpring Suite. And there we will continue creating a course that we edited today. So if you want to continue course design journey with us, join us on the 19th of March and prepare your tricky questions there. I, I hope we will answer them. Yeah, so I will share a link in the chat so you can see a schedule there. And yeah, Karina, thank you for sharing all these insights and yeah, answering all these questions. And thank you everyone for joining us this hour as well. Hope you have enjoyed. Take
Thank you,
care.
everyone. Have a great day.